Okay, this is going to be a video on radical equations. First thing we have to talk about is domain restrictions. So you got to make sure when your answer gets done that it fits within the domain. So remember, when you have an even power radical, okay, if I solve the inside, okay, 5x minus 10 equaling 0, 5x equals 10, okay, I'm sorry, I want to do 5x greater than or equal to 0, because I'm allowed to have things that are equal to 0, so 5x greater than or equal to 10, x is greater than or equal to 2. That means whatever answer I have has to fit within that, okay? Doesn't have to be that, it just has to fit that. The same thing here, this would be 2x plus 6 greater than or equal to 0, that would be 2x greater than or equal to negative 6, x has got to fit with greater than or equal to negative 3. So that's what you sort of want to look at before you start the question. So for instance, this one, I know that I have to have x is greater than or equal to negative 5, and I got to make sure it fits within that. So when I go to solve this, what I want to do is isolate, so I want to divide by 2. It'll be 4, square both sides. It'll be x plus 5 equals 4 squared is 16. All right, subtract 5. Okay, x equals 11. Okay, all right. So I got to make sure that the result fits within there, and it does. So that is going to be my answer. If it was less than that, then I wouldn't have that. This one, I subtract 15, okay? The other thing I want to do is I want to make sure when I put this back in here, I get a positive number, okay? So 11 plus 5, 16, good, that's a positive, so I'm fine there. So this one, okay, I got 3. All right, first of all, x would have to be greater than or equal to 4. Okay, I subtract 15, I get negative 6. Divide by 3, I get this. Okay, which would be negative 2. Okay, if I square negative 2, okay, all right. The problem here is, okay, once I get down to this spot, here's another potential situation, is that when you have an even power isolated, it's sort of like absolute value. This can't ever equal a negative number. So this is going to be no solution. Even though when I solve it, I would get x minus 4. If I were to do that, I square both sides. X minus 4, this is 4. Add 4 would be 8. All right. Now I put that in there. That looks like it's okay. But then when you go and calculate it, you won't get 9. So you got to really watch out for a couple of different things. You have to watch out for it ever equaling a negative number. You got to make sure that your answer is a part of the domain. Okay. All right. When you have cubes, okay. All right. Now a little bit different. When you have cubes, it doesn't matter. There are no restrictions because I can have a negative square root. So I cube both sides there. I get x minus 5 equals 7 minus x. I'm going to add x over to this side, so I get 2x minus 5 equals 7. All right, add 5. I get 2x equals 12. Divide by 2, I get x equals 6. Okay, and once again, you know, that's not as relative. This, all right, I've got two things going on here. I have to be x has got to be greater than or equal to negative, basically negative 5.5 because that's what that would be. I also got to have x is greater than or equal to 14 over 5, which is 14 over 5 would be about 2.8. Okay, so I got to make sure that it fits somewhere in those domains. Okay, so if I go and square this, okay, square both sides. Okay, all right, this is going to be 2x plus 11 equals 5x minus 14. Okay, I would subtract 2x, that's 11 equals 3x minus 14. Add 14. Okay, I've got 25 equals 3x. Divide by 3, I get x equals 25 over 3. Now 25 over 3, just double checking, that's going to be 8.3. And so that's it. I'm in good shape there because anything I put back in there is going to be good. So that's going to be an answer there for that. Okay, why don't you guys go ahead and try those. Okay, all right, now let's get into these. Okay, a little bit more of an issue here. What you want to try to do, and it doesn't work out all the time, move this over to the other side. Try to isolate the radical. So I got this, all right, equals 2x minus 3. Now, when I square both sides here, what does this mean? This means I have to do this. 2x minus 3 times 2x minus 3. That's going to be 4x squared minus 6x plus 9. So what that's going to be on this side is 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. This is going to go away and be x plus 1. Now, since I have a quadratic, I want to move those back over. So I got 0 equals 4x squared minus 12x plus 9 minus x minus 1. Okay, so I got 4x squared minus 13x plus 8. Okay, all right, now, since I'm solving that, I'm going to choose to use the quadratic formula for this. Okay, so I'm going to do the negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. All right, one of the reasons why I don't see that as something that's easy to factor. Okay, so I got 13 plus or minus. Okay, if I do the b squared part, that's negative 13 squared minus 4 times 8. Okay, 13 squared is 169 minus 4 times 8 is 128. And that's going to be 41. And I don't think 41 even breaks down to anything. It does not. So I got square root of 41 all over 2 times 4. So I got x equals 13 plus or minus the square root of 41. Okay, all over 8. Okay, all right, once again, I want to check to make sure, in this case, I have to have something greater or equal to negative 1. Okay, and I think that's the case of 13 plus square root of 41. All right, square root of 41 is 6.4, so 13 plus 6.4 divided by 8. All right, that's 2.41. I'm okay there. All right, 13 minus that, I'm also okay there. All right, so I'm good with those. Okay, those are both positive. I won't have an issue in there. All right. Okay. This one, what I would actually recommend doing is not dividing that. I would try to square this. Okay, and so what ends up happening here, we got x minus 2, that's x squared minus 2x plus 4. So that's x squared minus 4x plus 4. This, I would have 4, and then that's going to be x minus 2. Okay, all right, the reason why the square root's going to get dropped, that's going to get squared. Now I want to distribute that. That's 4x minus 8 equals x squared minus 4x plus 4. All right, I'm going to move everything back over. So x squared minus 4x plus 4 minus 4x plus 8. I got x squared minus 8x plus 12. Okay, now I'm going to have, this is going to factor to x minus 6, x minus 2. So the solutions would be 6 and 2. Now, if I went to go solve that, I got to have stuff that's greater than or equal to 2. Now that's okay. The 2's okay to be in there, and so is the 6. So that's going to be my answer. I factored that one. 1 times 12 was 12. Both sides are negative 2 and negative 6 if you need to see the factoring. So that'd be x squared minus 2x minus 6x plus 12. GCF x, negative 6. All right, that's how I got that. Okay. Okay, so why don't you guys go ahead and try those two. All right, we actually already covered this. Okay, so I'm going to remove this one, the cube one. I didn't think I covered that earlier in the deal. Okay, so let's just do, let me rewrite this over here for you. All right, what do you do when you get something like this that's not... Okay, now here's what I would do with this. Okay, first of all, I would isolate this, so I would subtract 7. So that's x to the 2/3 equals 2. So let's go ahead and convert this because this may help us. This is the exponent inside, and this is the root. Okay, so how do I get rid of that? I would cube this. That gives me 8. Okay, and then I got x squared. So then I would take the square root plus and minus. Break down 8, that's 2, 4, 2, and 2. Okay, so that's x, there's my pair, plus or minus 2, square root of 2. Okay, and that would be my answer. So I would break it down into a radical. Remember, this is the exponent inside, and this is the root. And that probably will be easier for you to solve. okay? So like, for instance, we'll make this the second one, all right? What I wanna do on that one is I'm gonna add the 16, gives me 20, that's x to the 3 halves, okay? So what does that mean? X to the 3 inside, 2 there, okay? All right, I would square this side. 20 squared is 400. This is x cubed, so then I would want to take the cube root of this, okay? So let's break down 400. That's 2 and 200. That's 2 and 100. That's 2 and 50. That's 2 and 25. That's 5 and 5. Okay, so I'm circling 3 items because it's a cube, so I got that. So it would be x equals 2 cube root of 2 times 5 times 5, so that would be 50. And that would be my answer for that problem. Okay, so you guys can go ahead and practice those. Okay, and now the last one. These are going to be your most challenging ones. What I want to do is I got to square both sides. Square both sides. Now, first of all, I could have answers greater than or equal to 0. I could have answers greater than or equal to -1/2. Okay, so let's see what we're at here. This part just disappears. That's 2x plus 1. This part I'm going to have to use FOIL for. Okay? All right, square root of x times square root of x is just going to be x. This is going to be negative square root of x. This is going to be negative square root of x. And this is going to be positive 1. So what I end up getting with this is I get x minus 2 square root of x plus 1. Now, what I want to do is let's go ahead and move these over here. Okay, so I want to subtract 1 and I want to subtract x. Okay, so what I got here is negative 2 square root of that. Those combine to 1x, that would combine to 0. Okay, now what I would want to do is I'd want to square this. Okay, so that's going to be x squared. All right, this is going to be negative 2 squared would be 4. This times this would be x. So I got 4x equals x squared. To solve that, move that back over. So I got x squared minus 4x. Okay, take out an x. I got x minus 4. Okay, if I solve this, it's x equals 0. X equals 4. Okay, all right. And if I plug that back in, square root of 4 would be 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 would be 9. Square root of 9, okay, would be 3, okay? So this one actually does not work, okay? So I put that in there, I get 9. I put that one in there, square root of 9 would be 3. Put that in there, that one doesn't work. Put 0 in there, okay? 0 times that would be 0, minus 1 would be negative 1. If I put 0 in there, I got 1, so this also doesn't work, so this one actually is a no solution. Okay? All right? Let's go on to the next one. Okay, let's go on to the next one. All right, so I got this. I'm going to square both sides, okay? First of all, I gotta have things greater than or equal to 0, okay? And I also have to check my answer. All right, this squared would be 3x, no problem there. Let's use the box method for this. Okay, this times this is 9 square root of x squared, which would just be 9x. This times this is 6 square root of x. This times this is 6 square root of x. This times this is 4. So what I got here is I got 9x plus 12 square root of x plus 4. Now what I want to do is I want to move that stuff over here. So I've got 3x minus 9x minus 4. And I got 12 square root of x. Okay, I got, so that's negative 6x minus 4 equals 12 square root of x, okay? Now, what I want to do is I want to square both sides. Okay, so that's going to be 12 squared is 144 with an x in it. I'm going to have to do another box here. This is pretty complicated, okay? 36x squared. This is positive 24x. This is positive 24x. This is positive 16. So what I got here is I got 36x squared plus 48x plus 16. I'm going to move this back over. That's 36x squared. I'm going to put this minus 44x over here. So 48, okay, 48 minus 144 is negative 96x plus 16, okay? Because that's so complicated, I'm just going to go ahead, taking out a 2 would make that 48, would make that, let's see if I take out 4, that'd be 9, 4 would be 24. Can I take out 8? No. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can do this. I got 96 plus and minus square root of 96 squared, or negative 96 squared minus 4 times 36 times 16. 96 times 96 is 9,216. 4 times 36 times 16 is 2304. Okay, 9216 minus that is 6912. Okay, so 6912 all over, which would be 72. All right, now I got to break down 6912. Hopefully I did not make a calculation error. That'd be really upsetting at this point. Be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1728, 864, 432, 2 and 2, 16, 2, 108, 254, 227, 3 and 9, 3 and 3. Pair, 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 pair. So I got 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. So 2 times 2 is 4, times another 2 would be 8, times another 2 would be 16, times 3 would be 48. So 48 plus or minus square root of 3 all over 72. Okay, it'll be 96 plus or minus 48 all over the square root of 3. I think 24 can go into all those. It is 4, so that'd be 4 plus or minus 2 square root of 3. All right, that would be the answer. That's a really long one, okay? All right, you may want to simplify that with a GCF first, okay? All right, you guys go ahead and practice those, okay? All right, and that is solving equations.